Hello. So in this session, I'll talk about how to use Google Colab for R programming. So sometimes we want to practice R and we have trouble installing R on our system for some reason. Maybe the laptop is old or there is some issue and you're not able to install R and R Studio on your system. So we'll talk about that in this particular session. So now I have opened a browser, which is the Safari browser. And in this, I will go to colab.research.google.com. If you type that, the Google Collaboratory will open, right? Now in this, once you see the screen, you have to click on New Notebook. You have to create a new notebook. So the default is Python notebook because most of the programmers use Python. So Python notebook will be open. So we'll have to make some changes there. If you see on the screen, you will see untitled.ipynb. So what we will do first, we'll change the name. So you just click on this, Command A, select all of it and call it practice.r. Okay, so we are saving it as a R file. Now what we need to do is, the next step is click on this runtime option and go down to change runtime type. In change runtime type, you will have a drop-down menu. Instead of Python 3, you have to go to R. You have to select R. So once you select R, you are fine. And then hardware accelerator, I will always suggest use a GPU. It will be faster. So T4 GPU, which is available, and we say save. Once you click the save button, now you can type the R code here and it will start working. So let's see a few steps, a few codes, simple codes. So first look at the working directory that we have here. So getwd is the way we find the working directory in R. You click this run button. So I had some more sessions running. That's why this problem. So I'm just clicking on getwd, get working directory. It will take some time. It's working on the cloud. And I see the working directory as /content. So one thing that we can note here is whatever is saved in this R session will be saved in the content directory. Now let's try to import some files. How do we import some CSV files into the system? And how do we work on that? Let's try that. So what we could do here is we could go here on the right-hand side and click on this folder option, the directory option. And there is this upward arrow. You click on this upload to session storage. You just click on this. It will open the folders option. And we will navigate to one of the files that I want to work with. Let's say my file is this bostonhousing.csv. It's always better to work on a CSV file when you are working on R or Python and you press the upload button. It says you should be careful about saving it elsewhere as well. Otherwise, after the session is over, it will get lost. Now, if you see bostonhousing.csv, so the file is imported into the R environment now. Now, let us do a couple of more steps. So what we will do is we will click on this plus code option. And now let's import this file into our working environment. So what do? We use the variable name data or data frame name data, and we try to import this file. So we say read.csv, and we have to import from /content. That's what I said. Content is the working directory, and we give the name bostonhousing.csv, bostonhousing.csv. Okay, once we do that, the code has run perfectly. Then we want to see what is there in this data. So let's look at the first few lines of this data set, first few rows of this data set. We use head of the head function, head data, and then we again run the code. So we see that the data is loaded, the data frame is into the system. So in the first step, what we did, we loaded the data into the R environment in Google Colab, and then we again imported it to get into the working mode. Now let's save this file as another file name. Let's save this file as a different file name and see whether it works or not. So what we will do is we will write.csv. We'll use write.csv, and we are writing the data file. And let's say we write it as, again, we'll have to save it in /content, and we give it a name, new_data, new_data.csv. So what we are doing here is we are writing this file data into the content folder, which is our working directory or working folder, content directory or working directory, and we are calling it new_data.csv. And then we run this option. So it has run, and let's see what happens here. So we can again check whether this is working fine or not by reading it. Okay, now again we will import it. We'll import it as data_new, and we'll say read.csv and say /content/new_data.csv. In the meantime, you see that new_data.csv is saved here. So this is proof that the code has worked perfectly. Now again, we will read it and see whether it still works or not. I think it has worked because the code is executed without any errors, and we can check the file, whether it is the same file or not. So what we do is we again see the first few rows of the data set, head data_new. The new name that we have given is data_new. Once we click that, we again see the same data set, right? So this means that the code has worked perfectly. So to summarize in this session, we have to remember a few things. You have to change the runtime type. Runtime type has to be changed to R. Second, the working directory in Google Colaboratory is /content. So wherever or whenever you import data, the data will be imported in /content. And if you have to import from Colaboratory to the R environment that you are working on currently, the current session, again, you'll have to give the path /content. I hope this will be useful for some of you. Thank you very much.